Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I it's only certain things I get very compelled about. I get compelled about protection, self-defense, self-preservation, and racial injustice. And I'm not the person that's like in every situation of racial injustice, but I can tell you about the things I have experienced. And is this world fair? No. Is there injustice? Yes. Is there severe racism? Yes. I'm blessed to live in an area, KC, Missouri area, where I don't feel it like I used to. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. I have lived in Alabama. I have lived in California. And I have lived in Minnesota. The most racial profiling I have ever experienced with Minnesota, hands down. From my high school years, from my adult years when I went back. And I purposely left Minnesota, Minneapolis to be exact, just because of the racial profiling. I was so sick of it. So some people may say, well, Tyreek Hill situation, what do I think about it? I definitely believe he set himself up for failure. I definitely can see that he went a little bit above, but I also, once again, say that them cops had a chip on their shoulder and they were out to prove something, and they out to prove it to Tyreek Hill. So that's why you haven't heard anything else about that situation from Miami-Dade, because the truth be told, they people screwed up. And nothing's tell you more that you're a minority than when you get in trouble. If anybody question their strength in minority, like, oh, it's not racism, oh, it's not this, just get in trouble and you'll quickly find out what skin color you are. Either white or black or brown, Asian, Indian, Pacific Islander, whatever. You will quickly find out in the wrong area where you are. Now, the racial profiling. Like I said in the other video, Tyreek should just comply. He didn't have to say, yes sir, no sir, as some people think that you should. But it would do nothing to say, oh, I'm sorry, sure, here's my license, registration, and, but he started off saying, don't knock on my window, bruh, don't knock on my window, bruh, don't knock on my window, bruh. You say that 3 times and put a little bass in your voice. As a man, I'm going to say, okay, hold up, hold the hell up. What's going on? And I believe those officers were just acting out of their own emotions versus them on the law. Granted, Tyreek was in the wrong, but pulling that man out of his car, you know who that man is. You know who he is. He's one of the most famous people in the world. Granted, he was wrong. You know he's a celebrity. You see the car, you know who he is, you know how successful he is. He is literally one of the most dangerous wide receivers in all football. And you pulling him out of his truck, his car, think it was going to be a reaction from the public? That was so stupid. You got in a power trip, and now you may lose your job they may take you off the force, and you may get sued. For what? Because your ego was offended because this rich man said something you didn't like? Bruh, you should have let that go. But anyway, it's easy to say this hindsight, looking back, say, well, Tyreek Hill, you should have did this. Police officer, you should have did this. But I have definitely made mistakes in the moment and then realize, oh shoot, I'm wrong. So the question in this video that I say is, what is it like to be racial profiled? Basically, when it feels like, it just feels like somebody is a legal bully and they just have control of you, because cops have a tremendous amount of control, tremendous amount of leadership, and rightly so, because they deal with elements that is very hard. So with that being said, how I used to experience it was simple things. They would just look for something to mess with you, just to just to pull you over. And in Minnesota, the reason why they pull you over was at that time in Minnesota, there was such a surplus. There was such a surplus of people coming from Chicago, and they were just trying to see if people were gang members. And they just make up charges just to pull you over, just to see if you have any type of record. And also, it was a way to say, hey, you know what? We know who you are. If you try to do something, we got something for you. And if anybody thinks that's wrong, you can ask anybody in Minnesota. They'll tell you that was true. And the thing was, what happened to George Floyd has happened up there for decades. My brother with masters behind his name, 2 of them, was getting pulled over like every 3 months or something. Just simple things that you wouldn't normally be. And I personally got tired of getting pulled over. I got sick and tired, and one day I mouthed off to the cops, which I strongly recommend not to do. But I was so effing tired of just being pulled over, and this cop was he's mad because he's underworked and overworked and underpaid, and just felt the power to have power over somebody and prove that he's still somebody significant in the world where you don't get a lot of respect, which a lot of officers sometimes don't. It is a very frustrating thing to be a minority and being pulled over several times. It's one thing you broke the law, and you know it. You went a little bit faster. You're going 15 over the speed limit. But just because I didn't signal, you pulling me over? Uncalled for, unchecked power of authority, and it's just a terrible feeling. I'm happy that body cams are mandatory. Some people say, cops, if people wasn't doing this, well, if it wasn't for a few dumb, immature cops, power-hungry cops, making it bad for very good, decent cops that are doing good, decent things. So, it is what it is. Cops are not invincible. They have insecurities, mental health issues, drug issues, family issues, crisis, mental health disorder. along with them being a cop. You know, you assume that they are people in control, but not all officers are in control of their emotions. I have trained with officers that really wasn't all that big and bad when they didn't have the badge behind them, and they felt a different type of way when they did. So, you know, it's a thankless job, but you know it. Thank God for body cams. That's all I can say. Thank God for body cams. There's more people checking and, you know, regulating to say, hey, you can't do such and such, you know. So it's, you know, it's better than it has been, but we still got way much to go. And one thing that other people don't understand, when black people have black children or biracial children, we instantly, if you train your kids to be, you know, follow the law, do this, we are also telling we telling our kids, hey, be careful with the cops. Hey, be careful what you do. Make sure you come home safe at night. Make sure, hey, do not argue with that cop. This. Even though we really want to fight illegally, which most of the time we don't have the money to. You know, just fight another day. You know, it's going to be get the badge number, get information, go to court if you have to. Your best friend is to Facebook Live if you can. If you can Facebook Live, and I did that one time. I Facebook Live when Facebook was just getting new. Was kind of letting you do live. Because I wanted people to see what I was experiencing. Versus people telling me just be a good person, be a nice person, don't say nothing. Man, why I gotta do that? If Johnny, who lives in the suburbs, and their dads, and they mouthing off to the cops, why they get away with it, but I get it because I'm black? That's not fair. Well, life is not fair. You know, a lot of times we have to fight the fights you can fight and fight the fights you can't. So, and that's just the way it is. And this doesn't take away good cops. There's very good cops, you know, but if you don't put yourself in somebody else's shoes, how are you going to know? Those who question this, imagine you a black person or a minority. Imagine your skin color can change, you know, and you live in another person's shoes. Would you want to? Would you want to experience what they have? So, all right, guys, have a good one.